the ship, the Tahrír, has been here for a long time. It was purchased by the Canadian campaign, the Canadian Boat to Gaza campaign, and we named it the Tahrír for the liberation. And we've been joined in our campaign by Australians, Belgians, Danes, also Germans and Turks. So it's a very international boat, but most of the people are Canadians.
I'm a Belgian citizen of 71 years old. I made a lot of things in my life. I finished my career 1.5 years ago as a senator in Belgium, but before that I've been more than 20 years reporter for the Belgian, war correspondent for the Belgian television. And before that I was a sailor, and I came sometimes in Greece, and especially in Scaramanga. So I know your country very well. And while I was a reporter, I was here when the government of Papadopoulos was overthrown in October '73. So I know your country in different circumstances.
We came here to train for nonviolent resistance because we knew that, as with the previous flotilla, if we were stopped by the Israeli occupation forces, they would probably be very violent, and so we were preparing ourselves for the experience of responding non-violently.
I'm not anxious, and if I have to risk my life, I think this is for the good cause.
Unfortunately, the Greek authorities were instructing the local authorities to make every possible obstacle in our path. Administrative papers, paper after paper after paper after paper, one inspection. We had already had the boat inspected by the International Naval Survey Bureau, and they had to have another inspection and more papers from the Comoros Flagging Authority, and radio licenses and many papers, all just with the purpose of delaying, slowing down the departure of the boat.
I'm very shocked because I thought that this was a wonderful democratic country. That was my vision of Greece, and that this was a paradise, a place for people to live, but also, you know, a place now with an economic crisis and everyone trying to make the country better, and then to think that the Greek government would allow the Israeli government to tell them what to do, to control the way that they know they should, you know, the way they know they should be, and to think that they would let a country from outside come in. It's a shame on the Greek people.
Mr. Papandreou, who is also, and we have to remind that, president of the International Socialist Movement, is no more free to do what he wants, because I suppose and I hope that if he had to decide by himself, he wouldn't do what the government have done now, because for sure this decision has been forced to him by a lobby pro-Israeli, and probably Israel with his best friend the United States, who has the right to decide what he wants in IMF, have made pressure on the government, telling, if you want to get some money, you have to do what we order to do. And I'm sure that it's what has happened. Well, I think it's terrible, because, well, Greece is, we have not to forget, and I don't forget, that's here the democracy took place at the first time. And what he's doing now to avoid, to impeach people, to do a peaceful people, to bring some help to peaceful people on the other side of this sea, and people, civilian people, I find that horrible.
Για κάποιο λόγο αυτοί έρχονται, ψάχνουν και ξαναψάχνουν και ξαναψάχνουν. Ο λόγος είναι προφανός, και εμένα η μοναδική εντύπωση που μου έχει προκαλέσει όλο το γεγονός είναι ότι μέχρι στιγμής υποψιαζόμουν διάφορα πράγματα, και τώρα έχω βεβαιωθεί πλέον ότι οι Έλληνες δεν κάνουν πλέον κουμάντο στην Ελλάδα, παρά παίρνουμε εντολές από αλλού, όχι από Έλληνες. Αυτό το πράγμα δεν έχει ξανασυμβεί στην Ελλάδα. Ακόμα και οι λιμενικοί οι ίδιοι που έρχονται εδώ και κάνουν την επιθεώρηση, αυτοί δεν την έχουν ξανακάνει. Οπότε εμένα δεν μου χωράει αφιβολία ότι οι εντολές έρχονται μόνο από το Ισραήλ και από πουθενά άλλο.
We are extremely frustrated that the Greek government appears to have yielded to intense pressure from both the Israeli government and probably the United States government and the International Monetary Fund, and is preventing our boat from departing. We have gifts for the people of Gaza, but more importantly, our aim is to challenge the right of the Israeli government to impose an illegal blockade. We believe that the Greek government is currently violating our rights because our boat is not registered under a Greek flag.
And we understand that it isn't the decision of the Greek government, it's a decision that's imposed on the Greek government by international forces, by the Israeli lobby, by Washington, by the other European powers, by the IMF. So it's not the decision of a sovereign state, it's a decision which is imposed on the Greek state by other forces. But right now they have the guns, we don't have guns, we're stuck in this port with a boat with people who would wish to leave.
I'm disappointed in the Papandreou government for towing the Zionist party line. I can understand the position that the Greek government is in with the financial crisis, but I don't think there's any excuse for denying free passage of humanitarian aid to an occupied territory. Under the 4th Geneva Convention, they must allow free access of humanitarian aid.
It's very clear that the Greek government is very much a puppet regime, a puppet now of the Israeli government and the US government and the IMF, which is a sorry state for Greece once more to be in.
We request permission for our boat to leave to ensure its security, because the Greek state has shown that it's incapable of ensuring the security of international boats in Greek ports, and so for the safety of our boats we request that just the captain and crew take the boat out of the harbor to a safe place that we will decide with our captain.
You think that your boat is not safe in a Greek harbor?
In a Greek harbor? Well, what do you think? The Greek state has proven that they are incapable or unwilling to provide security for international boats.
You mean the two sabotages?
I mean that, well, one sabotage was in the Turkish port, but one sabotage was in a Greek port. And we know that there were probably more attempts, and we don't know if the Greek state is actually interested in defending the boats of the flotilla.
Are you optimistic that this boat will sail finally?
I really am. You know, we worked so hard. We started in June of last year making our plans and doing everything step by step, collecting money from Canadians, $5 at a time, $10, $25, and you know how sometimes you just have a feeling that you'll succeed, that it's really something that you can do. And if you can imagine 1 year ago standing in front of the Canadian people and saying, we need $300,000 and we can buy a boat. It sounds ridiculous, but we did it. We bought this beautiful boat. We found this amazing crew, and we've been working with the most extraordinary people in the Freedom Flotilla. Yeah, I think we will. And I think that maybe it's going to be the Greek people that are going to come out over the next several days, and also the fact that we have people in all of our countries that are out on the streets now in front of the Israeli embassies, in front of the Greek embassies.
We've already won very important victories because we were coming, a civil society organization, a campaign of people, most of whom didn't know each other a few weeks ago, without infrastructure, without paid employees, without any state backing. We have the 4th largest military in the world, throwing all its resources, its lobby, its money, its military, its spies, its propaganda, to stop a civil society movement.
The attack on the last flotilla is a personal challenge to the international solidarity movement, and I feel it's a challenge that we have answered and will continue to answer until the siege of Gaza and the collective punishment it enforces ends. We've over doubled the amount of boats in this flotilla from the last time, we've doubled the number of countries, and we've doubled the number of people. And if they choose to repress us again like they did last time, we will come back twice as strong next time.